And this is Auntie. And yes, honey, I got my cap on, all right? And I am here to do my review on the 1,000 Pound Sisters, season 2, episode 4, Fork in the Road. If this is your first time being here, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And to all of my new subscribers, thank you all so much for joining the family. To all of my nieces and nephews who have been here with me for the long haul, thank you all so much for your continued support. If I had to rate this episode of the 1,000 Pound Sisters, I would give it a D. Okay, now we gonna make it funny, but I would have to give this episode a D. Yeah. So anyway, let's get started. So we open up this episode the same way that we ended with Tammy, Amy calling Tammy on the phone, screaming, hollering, yelling, out of her mind, confused, um, thinking that she was going to die, saying that she didn't want to die, like she is screaming and yelling and crying. And so, of course, the family is all worked up because nobody knows, what is going on with her. And, it's just a hot mess, right? And so we await to find out the results of what is going on with Amy. In the meantime, we have been looking at it for weeks and we know that Amy has been absolutely abusing herself. So we see Amy and her husband, pull up to the house, okay, to the front, and they go directly into Tammy's home, okay? And Tammy is sitting there in her chair, her wheelchair, and she is waiting to find out, what are the results, what happened with Amy. So, of course, Amy comes in. She's sitting there all bashful and looking crazy. And so Tammy is like, what's going on? And so Amy says that she ate too much Chinese food. You heard me. Mm-hmm. That's what I said. Mm-hmm. Amy tells Tammy that she ate too much Chinese food. And of course, this must have raised her blood pressure, or either she had a crack in her egg. Now, we have been watching Amy abuse food over for the last couple of episodes, like all of them. They have been talking to Amy constantly about her abuse of food. Now, she said that she wanted to enjoy her pregnancy. She wants to be a good mother. But yet and still, she is stuffing herself with Chinese food in the morning. Now, I don't know if it was the soy sauce. I don't know if it was the noodles or the General Tso's sauce. But whatever it was, it caused her to go out of whack. Tammy said, you're not supposed to be eating Chinese food in the morning. She said, well, I had it last night and I wanted to finish my leftovers. Let me tell you something. Whether you wanted to finish your leftovers or not, because you know what? Chinese food, in my opinion, is always better the next day. Eat it for dinner. Tammy said, you dummy, you had it back to back. That means you had it last night and you had it this morning. So evidently, Amy almost cracked the egg. But the part that's not funny about it is that this woman is carrying a baby. That's the part that's not funny because there is going to be a human being coming up out of her in 9 months' time. Now, I know that a lot of people, you know what, Auntie, don't go there. Just go ahead and leave that alone. Yeah. Go ahead on and just finish like the review and stuff. Don't say stuff like that because some things are just not appropriate for you to say out here. So, Auntie, here's what I need you to do. I need you to move the hell on and not make that comment that is sitting on the tip of your tongue and that is just inundating your mind. Move on, Auntie, okay? Like, seriously, move on. So Amy's going to be having a baby in 4 months. As we know, she is 5 months pregnant. And she is going to be having a baby. And she is completely reckless with this pregnancy and reckless. She could have stroked out, right? And and at that point, like, what happens to the baby? So I'm very disappointed in the fact that Amy would be so reckless with this. Like, seriously, it's not even funny. Like, when she sat in that psychiatrist's office and they both of them admitted to being addicted to food. They are absolutely addicted to food. Both of them. Yeah. So anyway, Tammy is like, you're not supposed to be doing this. And she's like, I know, I got to take care of the baby. And, I'm going to be a parent and I have to be responsible and all that. When that aha moment happened? Then she sits there and she makes fun and she laughs and she wants to joke around because she didn't remember anything that she did. And so while you were saying that Tammy would not be able to carry the baby across the floor because Tammy, is addicted or is used to being in a wheelchair and using her walker, you're not responsible carrying the baby either. If you eating food to the point where you blacking out. I mean, I've never eaten food to the point where I've blacked out. So I don't know like how that feels. Have anybody like raise your hand if you've ever eaten food to the point where you've blacked out? So anyway, she thinks it's a joke and everything. Tammy was talking about how she was talking out of her head. And so, they leave. At this point, it's just no hope for Amy. I'm sure she's already had her child. So the next day we see Amy acting as if nothing had happened, right? She's talking about eating different foods and she says that she wants to have cauliflower, but she wants the cauliflower with the General Tso's sauce on the top of it. Her and her husband are now at the point where they are making a video in order to do a baby reveal to her subscribers. She is sitting there and, he's adjusting the camera. She asks him to come over and sit with her. She introduces her husband. And then she goes into talking about the baby. And then so she reveals that she is indeed having a baby boy. And that when the two of them found out that they were having a baby boy, that they both cried and they were excited about it. She mentioned that, the baby was going to be named one thing, but it's going to be named something else. I'm so sick of hearing about the baby. I didn't even write down what the baby name was going to be. It just, like, I seriously did not write the baby name down because I really just, I'm so sick of hearing it. One of my subscribers said that they had counted how many times she has said, I'm having a baby. And she counted up to 36 times. That's absolutely ridiculous. So can you imagine how many times she said it, but it didn't make it to the television, didn't make it to TLC? Whatever. So, of course, now we have to deal with her with having a baby boy. And I mean, like, it's probably going to be sickening, but I'm sure that they're going to tape it. The next thing we see is Tammy having a conversation with Amy. Amy indicates that she is going on a baby moon. That, no, they decide that Amy decides that she is going to have a glam party or like a spa day with her sister. Tammy has someone to come over to the house by the name of Michael Michelle, who does her hair because she said she can't fit in the chairs at the salon. So this girl actually comes to her house. And so, Tammy's hair is out and, the young lady is dyeing it for her and everything. And I'm just saying, how is she rinsing it? Like, is she taking like a big bucket? Or, I mean, like, I don't, like, is she at the sink? Do you back her up to the sink? Like, how does she rinse her hair? Y'all tell me down in the comment section how y'all think that Tammy got her hair rinsed. Like, did she rinse her butt naked? Like, did she take her outside and hose her down and then wheel her back in, dry her off, and then like, how do you? Michael, Michelle, please put down in the comment section, baby, how you rinse that girl's hair here because we really need to. we're really interested in knowing how you rinse that hair. So anyway, she is getting her hair done, and Amy is in there putting on a green mask and everything, and it's just like, she's just such a child. She says that she needs to take a vacation, and Tammy basically told her, your whole life is a vacation. And I absolutely have to agree with Tammy. Even though, Tammy is nasty as dog dude, a lot of the points that she make and a lot of the shade that she throws is just daggone truth. Because what else does Amy do other than make YouTube videos and films 1,000 pound sisters? Okay, I'll wait. Now I know that her husband works, and so I guess she's a stay-at-home wife, and ain't nothing wrong with that. If you could do what you could do it, but the judgment that she puts on Tammy, always looking at Tammy and saying stuff about Tammy. Amy, they had a certain part in this y'all where they took him had the camera on Amy only. Amy was outside because, they take Tammy's trash out, even though Tammy says that Amy doesn't do anything for her. Young, it was one of them daggone stretch steel glad bags, right? The ones with the stretch in them, you know what I'm saying, so that it can expand. Young, why was that whole entire trash bag full of nothing but candy? Now, this is what was in Tammy's trash. Amy is out that mofo taking it out, and this is the only thing that's in it. I'm talking about it looked like it was Halloween, Christmas candy, Easter, St. Patrick's Day, like every holiday imaginable where you just, Mardi Gras. I mean, just candy. Now, as we all know, Dr. Proctor has already turned Tammy down because Tammy wasn't able to get the pounds off. Now, she knows that she's getting ready to go and see another gastric bypass doctor, not far from her from her home. And yet she still doesn't have any self-control, and she's sitting out there eating all this cotton freaking candy. So, Tammy, when Tammy was in the house and she was talking, when Amy was in the house and she was talking to Tammy, she asked Tammy, Young, have you been eating candy? Like, do you get, sweets or anything like that? How you been doing? And she was like, sometimes I do have an appetite for candy, but I buy the miniature bags. But what she didn't say was she buys a ton of the miniature bags and she eats a ton of the candy. You just do better if you just go ahead on and get a regular size candy bar and sit around and eat those. Those miniature ones is coming like 50, 60 in the bag. And every bag that was sitting out there, y'all, I know y'all don't believe me. I know y'all don't believe me. Every bag that was sitting out there was emptied in a mofo. This girl had eaten up all this cotton freaking candy, y'all, by herself. And and Amy happened to be taking out the trash, young, and saw it. And you sit up in there, I will never eat another miniature candy bar the same. Matter of fact, I don't even think I'll ever buy one. I think I'm just gonna get the regular size one and cut the bitch myself. Like the food, the amount of food that this chick is eating, knowing that she had already got turned down, knowing that the Dr. Proctor had already told her, you only got 5 to 10, boo. If you don't discontinue eating like this, y'all, why you damn? So anyway, she makes a decision that, she going to let her sister slide because she said, if I say something to Tammy about it, it's going to be an argument. But wait a minute, though. Wasn't you the same one that just came home from the hospital because you ate too much Chinese food? See, none of them have the right to talk about the other one. Y'all, I'm being dead ass. I'm just going to go ahead and be dead ass. None of them have a right to say anything. You talk about pots and kettles. We talk about asphalt. Tammy, the brother comes over to the damn house, okay? Chris. Now, I knew that Chris had joined this cast because he wanted to get the weight loss surgery too. But y'all, Chris let out the bag that he wants to get the weight loss too. Okay, so Chris comes over and he got this mechanism with fat people who are, just cannot move past this. Like they can't lean with it, rock with it. They lean with the rock with it as a yank or a snatch back. You know what I'm saying? Because their stomach is so big, so when they go to, go down to put their shoes shit on, it snatch them back like that. You know what I'm saying? When they get that, you know what I'm saying? It's like a pullback. It's like a you know what I'm saying? It's like they got their own little bungee cord on their asses, right? So they can't bend down and put socks on like you and I can. They can't like lift their knee up, right? They can't lift the knee up and bring the knee up. Like it's a total disconnect, right? So the brother comes over with this little gimmick stuff as seen on TV. And this is supposed to be, this plastic thing with a string on it. So you put the sock on the string and put the sock on the plastic thing, put the plastic thing, lift up your leg a little bit or have somebody else lift it up, whatever. And then you put your foot down in it, and then you pull a string, and the string's supposed to pull a sock up, bitch. So Tammy was like, not want to try, because y'all know Tammy don't want to try anything that's new or that's helpful or like anything. And so the brother was like, so Amy was like, get here, let me try. Young. When Amy put that sock on, it was hanging halfway off the bottom because the mechanism wasn't working that good. Bitch, they showed the bottom of her feet. The bottom of her feet looked like she been up there putting up a roof. Barefooted, bitch. With the asphalt, the tar, and some more stuff up on the bottom of her foot. That bitch looked like it was made out of iron. Her foot was black as coals. I know y'all think I'm lying. I'm not lying. The bottom of her feet was blacker than blackety, blackety, black, bitch. And I mean, I'm talking about the brother talking about she need to bleach that. No, don't. That's past bleach. She need a bottom of her foot transplant. Like that looked like she was up there. She was like, y'all need a new roof? I got you, Junebug. She got up on that roof, barefooted, and just started slapping tar down and putting it. Y'all don't hear me. I know y'all don't hear me. And I know y'all don't believe me. But when I say that her feet was this black, I mean to tell you that her feet was this black. And when it gets this black, you can't go back. When it gets this black, there's no going back. Thank you so much, Denise M, for the $9.99 super chat. Thank you, boo. And let me tell you something. Her black didn't crack. That mofo looked like a... Y'all, I'm telling you. The part... Oh, my God. Auntie, don't get sick. When I tell you the bottom of her feet was like this, and they laughed about that. So I could just imagine the construction zone that's going on in the back of your crack of your... Can y'all imagine the no walking zone, the no work zone, the no sleep with her zone? Can y'all imagine the construction zone that's going on in the back and the crack of her and the can you, no, seriously. It ain't that much bird bath, bitch, in the world. That just goes to show, young, you ain't took a shower. You ain't stepped in a tub in damn near a year. In a year. I don't know if she ain't got running water up in that. I don't know what's going on. She thought that was funny. Young, that's almost made me throw up. Like you nasty for real. So anyway, I'm sitting up here so trying not to get sick. I gotta get it out my mind. I gotta wipe it out my mind. I gotta act like I ain't never seen it. Okay. Y'all, they need to cut her feet off. Like, when was the last time she seen a podiatrist? Anyway, so they, make an announcement that they're going to go on this baby moon. So Tammy was like, go on the fuck on. I take care of myself anyway. So, of course, Amy is going on and on about how much she does for Tammy and how concerned she is. But she, she has a family of 3 now, even though she said it the wrong way. It wasn't funny any damn way, y'all. But, she says that, she has a family of 3 and she's got to think about herself. So her and Mike, roll up out of there. They leave the dog with her. And Tammy's on her own. She's on her own. How could it end this way? Okay, she is on her own. And bitch, when I tell you that Tammy was walking around there with no walker and no wheelchair, I mean Tammy was walking around there with no walker and no wheelchair. Tammy was outside, she was inside, she was cooking, she was doing everything. She was going to the bathroom, she was playing her numbers, she was eating food, she was cooking food. Now she had to take a tongue and she had to stretch the tongue out to turn the knob because she said that she's too fat. So she can't reach the knobs on the stove, okay, because every time she reached the knobs on the stove, her stomach and stuff catch on fire. So, she got to make sure that she use a tongue or something. She got to do it like that. You just do it like that. Can you imagine being that fat that you can't even reach the knobs on your stove without burning your stomach? But anyway, I'm telling y'all right now, Tammy's a phony because Tammy was walking around that joint. Ain't we funkin' now? Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Ain't we funky? Okay? She was doing everything that a regular person could do except for the exception of sitting her ass down while she was cooking and turning the knob with some tongs. I'm telling y'all right now, this girl is a phony. Now, I know that she probably not going to be able to run no marathon anytime soon. But Tammy's damn ass can walk without that walker, and we saw that. Matter of fact, when she was walking without the walker, it wasn't a whole bunch of huffing and puffing. Now, I don't know if y'all caught those teas, but your auntie caught those teas. It wasn't a whole bunch of huffing and puffing coming out of Tammy. Anyway, y'all, so, she was in there cooking and everything. And before Amy and them had left, right, they came in the door, and so Tammy was like, y'all need to start. Are y'all ever gonna knock on my door? And Amy was like, no. She was like, what if I'm sitting up in this living room naked? So Amy was, talking trash. Tammy said, Mike might like it. Tammy said, if I'm sitting up in here naked, Mike might like it. Then again, he might not. He's just weird. Tammy, who thinks that about their brother-in-law, young? The shade of it all. So anyway, I was like, okay, I caught those teas. Is Tammy looking at Mike? I don't know why the hell she would. So anyway, Amy and her husband goes to a resort, and I believe it's called Helen, Georgia. And this is, one of those places where they have turned it into like a Dutch village or whatever it is. It was very nice. They walk up into the hotel. They like it. She believes that she's at Beyonce's house. And I'm like, no, Beyonce's house ain't looking like that. And the whole entire time that she is there, she is talking about Tammy. The whole, she says that she needs to have a life of her own and she needs to rest and all that kind of stuff. But the whole entire time that her and Michael were there, the only thing that they could think of was Tammy. Okay. Meantime, back at the ranch, Chris comes over, and Chris is taking Tammy to her first appointment with her new doctor. And so, as we all know, Dr. Proctor referred her to another doctor. So she's going to this doctor's office, and she is hoping that this doctor is not mean and nasty to her, and she's hoping that the scale has not changed. And so Chris comes and gets her. He rented a minivan for her, and so she's getting into the minivan. Now, you all know her feet be like this, right? Well, the feet was really like the feet was like this. And so Chris was like, you know what? She's worse off than she was before. I mean, at first the feet was at least right here, but now the feet is like up at her neck distance. And so, of course, she. I see it. Damn. 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 So, of course, she finally gets in. They get to the doctor's office, and she is afraid, again, that is, that she ain't did what she was supposed to do. So the doctor came in. I believe his name was Dr. Steve. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. Little bald-headed, nice doctor and everything. And he was like, hey, Tammy. And she was like, hey, hey, hey. And he was like, I got a referral from Dr. Proctor. He said, I like to have clients who other people said could not, accomplish their goals. And so he's excited to work with Tammy. And he asked Tammy, what happened with Dr. Proctor. She said, I didn't stick to the program. Tammy is one of those type of people that she is so embarrassed and has such low self-esteem that she's going to give you no more than five words in a sentence, right? And so, the doctor's like, okay. So he said, Chris, what brings you here? So Chris said that he wants to now get the weight loss surgery. He said, why? He said, I have a young wife and I want to live longer. He said, I did this show because the weight loss surgery is going to be free for me because I'm sure the network is going to pay for this. And I have all these things. So he began to run off the list of diseases that he has: high blood pressure, high cholesterol. He's diabetic type 1. He says that he takes 5 needles a day. And he just has a host of problems. And the doctor told him, if you lose the weight, 85% of those things will go away. So he asked them, were they ready to, get on the scale? And so Chris said yes. Now, as we all know, last week when Chris weighed himself, he came in at 419, 420 pounds. Chris gets on the scale and he has lost 20 some pounds. Chris said this is the first time in 8 years that he has been under 400. He is ecstatic. They show Tammy, I'm happy for Chris. Can't even be happy for a mofo. So he asked Tammy, Tammy, how much do you believe that you weigh? Tammy said, I don't know. I haven't weighed myself. He said, okay, no problem. The scale right there. Get your ass on it. When Tammy walked over to the scale and she put her arms on the bar of the scale, I BS you not. The daggone scale, without her even standing on her arms, was 298 pounds. That was just her arms being on the scale. Y'all know y'all saw it. Y'all know y'all saw it. She was 298 pounds leaning. Can you imagine her having to lean on you for anything when you're not strong? And I'll carry on. Can you imagine? Lean on me. Sing it with me. When you're not strong and I'm gonna be dead. 298 pounds. Damn. When she got on the scale, as we all remember, the last time that she weighed at Dr. Proctor, she was 596 pounds. When Tammy got on the scale, she was 646 pounds. Y'all, Tammy was 646 pounds in less than 30 days. The brother estimated that she is gaining 1.3 pounds per day. He said he did not even think that it was possible for someone to gain 50 pounds in 30 days, but anything is possible with Tammy. Tammy is shocked. The brother is looking at her like, bitch. And that's how the episode goes off. Tammy is not doing any kind of program. And in my opinion, I agree with the doctor, the psychologist, the psychiatrist, the therapist, the counselor. Tammy is not ready for weight loss surgery. She is not a good candidate for it. There are a lot of psychological things that are going on with Tammy. And I do not believe that weight loss surgery is going to be the cure all for her. It never is for anyone. You still have to do the work. And for Tammy to leave Dr. Proctor, COVID or not, and gain 50 pounds, bitch, you ain't even trying to do nothing. Chris says she ain't doing nothing but eating. That's all she's doing is eating. And you hate to say that and give up on somebody, but damn it, I couldn't put confidence in her to flip a penny good. Tammy is accustomed to living like this, and it is everybody else's responsibility. It's not Tammy's. It's not Tammy's responsibility, bitch, to take care of Tammy. It's Amy's, Chris, and everybody else. And she kept talking about how she was thankful that Chris was going to be working with her and how excited she was to be working with Chris. But here's the thing. You ain't doing with Chris. It's a smack in Chris's face. And for the 50 pounds, I gave this episode a D. Damn sure did. Gave it a D. So anyway, y'all, I'm going to tell you everything that I told you. Everything I said here today is true and factual, as according to what I saw, allegedly. Thank you all so much for being here. This is the end of my review. If you have not already done so, please subscribe to my channel so that you can see videos like these and others. Make sure that when you subscribe that you hit that notification bell 2 times. Boom, boom. So that every time I go live, you go live with me. Thank you so much to Mary for holding down the chat. And thank you so much to the young lady who super chatted me. I love you all to pieces. And until next time, I love you. Bye.